What's going on? What's going on? Just decided to go live. It's just impromptu. My my Wi-Fi went out, so basically it's an outage. It's gonna be an outage probably till tomorrow morning. So I'm like, what the hell? Let me just go live. I don't really see anybody that went live or whatever. So I decide to basically uh, jump on the airwaves of YouTube. Oh man, I just pretty much just pretty much like don't really have no title or nothing. I mean, I just basically um just want to see if anybody else I guess is up. Do a do a mic check. See if anybody else is up. Got anything on their mind? It was a kind of like a real bad storm that came through Northwest Indiana yesterday. Um, and it was, I guess, something going on or whatever, and it took out my internet connection. And anybody else that has pretty much Xfinity took people on out. I know people were probably pissed off. They was probably trying to get some Netflix and chill. The only thing they could do is chill. um, man, I mean, I was testing my Streamlabs. Finally got my chatbot to work, and it just basically the internet connection dropped. Which I ain't gonna lie, like my laptop that I actually use, that I have Streamlabs on, the connection just I don't know what it- what it is, but after about an hour, the connection drops anyway. So I thought it was just a normal drop in connection, but normally I could reconnect, but it was no reconnection. And then I saw my phone, the Wi-Fi was off, so I knew it was something going on. So it was pretty much some type of outage or whatever that is going on. So yeah, I don't know. I pretty much I got time. I got a little time tonight. I don't really have anything going on tomorrow or well later today. Probably just put up some more drywall and maybe go to the hardware store to get some lumber. Need some two by fours. But yeah, I really I got a little time, man. I normally it's people that are already live, and I could just hop on and listen to what they talking about, but it ain't nobody live, at least that I know of. Like people that I pretty much normally check out or whatever. I don't see anybody live. There's a lot of people that were live earlier, but yeah, ain't nobody really live right now. So I decided to just hop on, you know. Uh, I was kind of thinking about a topic or what to talk about. And I guess the question that I have is is America going through a digression or a progression? Meaning, is it going up as far as like cost of living, or I mean not so much cost of living, but quality of living, or is it digressing with that type of thing? Is it digressing as quality of life in America, or is it progressing? That's that was the first kind of question that I was trying to ponder, you know, as far as things is concerned. Um, I guess I could talk about that. That's something that's kind of on my mind. So let me see here. What's going on, eyeball? Oh, they left. I saw eyeball and then they left. So yeah, that's the first thing I guess I could talk about. I'll just go off the old dome piece. Um, so is America progressing or digressing? That's a question that I have for whoever's listening to this too. I mean, even on a playback. Is America uh progressing or is it digressing? I'm gonna leave you to ponder that question, and I'll be right back. So, yeah, is America progressing or digressing? Okay, so is it on its way up or is it on its way down? Uh, well, let's just look at things as far as from a quality of life perspective. You know, let's look at crime. Let's look at jobs or economic opportunities, right? Let's look at healthcare. Okay. Okay. So jobs, healthcare, crime, or let's not say jobs because I don't want to. One of the things I will say, I don't want my children to be job focused. My both my grandparents and my parents used to say, "Get a job, get a job, get a job." You know, I want to tell my children to basically maybe try to start a business first, or start a business, not get a job, get a job, get a job. So when I say just economic opportunities, it encompasses jobs, it encompasses um, all spectrums of financial success, such as investing, business, jobs. That is more I would say more focused on every aspect of when I say economic opportunities. Okay, so when I ponder this question, I'm gonna look at crime, economic opportunities, healthcare, and I guess the fourth thing would be I would say probably overall, let's just say lifestyle. Let's just say lifestyle because lifestyle will encompass how it is, how you can actually live in this society and stuff like that. Okay. All right. So first I'm going to cover crime. So unless you've been hiding under a rock, crime is basically on the rise in this country, mainly in the big cities such as New York, Chicago, Atlanta, Los Angeles. Okay, crime has definitely been on the news, right? In these cities, these major cities, it's been an issue, right? What's going on? Why is these crime waves going on? Um, you could say basically, people wanting to have a kind of a boost in economic opportunity. They don't necessarily probably want to work, might not be um, brought up in a household where they have any type of inheritance or any type of financial backing from their parents to help them out. So the friend, tell them, hey, I got a lick. We're gonna, smash and grab this jewelry store, up the street or, block away, a mile away, whatever. And they probably gonna jump on it. If you come from a family where, it's a single family, mom works most of the time. She works to pay the bills and bring food on the table and just get by, right? She's got to work really, really, really hard to do that. She's not able to really cover any type of allowance. How many people grew up in a household where your parents gave you an allowance? Okay, I'll wait for that question. How many people actually had an allowance? $50 a month or a week or whatever. How many people had an allowance? My mother, father used to give me money. I mean, ideally, my mother gave me more money than my father. I mean, by a landslide. But I used to have to do odd jobs, and if I did odd jobs around the house and outside of the house, I got money. I got some money to do as I wished. I didn't necessarily get any allowance. Like pretty much a set aside amount of money that was just given to me by my parents and an amount. No, I mean, but here's the thing, that does help. If you do get an allowance, I would love as a person that loves to do research and definitely just to kind of see what this entails. I would love to do research on children that got allowances versus children that didn't get an allowance. What was the impact of those children getting an allowance versus not getting the allowance from their parents? That the children that get an allowance, you know, fare better than the children that didn't get an allowance? That would be something that I would love to ponder. You know, I would say I would not be surprised if the children that got an allowance fared better than the children that did not get an allowance. Why do you the just mainly realistic or the common sense approach to that, or is that the children that did get an allowance, what are they? Children want things. When you're a little kid, you want, typically candy and toys, right? That you're 5 to 10 years old, right? That drive or urge to want things it doesn't necessarily change. And then if you got parents, that the most common parents is the response to wanting those candies and toys is, I don't have it, son or daughter, or money doesn't grow on trees. Every time we go in the store, I can't buy you candy and toys, right? So, when you get older, that kind of gets ingrained in you, right? Possibly, right? We're just speaking hypothetically, right? You might not want to ask your mother, or if you have a father or mother that lives with you, for money all of the time. You know, you might not, you might get tired of that. It might not be any money. I'm just being very medium as far as the type of family that I'm trying to express, as far as the common family that might come from a household where they don't get an allowance. It's the mother that's barely getting by. She's raising the kids, by herself. She gets maybe some child support, or maybe doesn't get much, or maybe doesn't pursue child support, whatever the case may be. And she's just basically getting by. She might not have any money to give as far as any allowance. She might be, check to check. A lot of most households in America people are living check to check, or even worse than check to check. Hand to mouth. Because see, here's the thing. What I mean by hand to mouth is some people don't have jobs. Some people don't have steady income to where they make a full time or part time job where they get a guaranteed wage. They get guaranteed compensation at the end of the week, a guaranteed set position, hours, schedules type of thing, to where they don't have no guaranteed job, you know. So those people kind of live hand to mouth. That's where that term comes in. It's basically whatever you can pull out your pocket to hand someone, to give them to buy some food. A lot of people in the world, in the third world countries and second world countries, that's how they live. They live hand to mouth. Whatever they could do to make a living, to get something, to buy something, some food, or basic needs for the day or for the week. That's how they live. Um, Basically, even, I mean, I'll be honest. I mean, right now, I don't have a full time or part time job. I work some days. Some days, if I actually want to work, I work. If I get some contracts, weekly contracts or a couple days, I work those. Sometimes I don't. I have a week where I might not get a contract or work order or whatever. I mean, it's pretty much hand to mouth for me. It's not necessarily like I'm you know work making third world wages, but it went from a situation where, yeah, I was pretty much, I had a set schedule. I had, pretty much a set amount as far as wage, but I had to show up for that job. It wasn't necessarily like I just get it automatically. But I went from that to, basically, I'd have to say, hand to mouth. Day to day, things is, one day I'm working as a IT support personnel. The next day I'm working in a factory, loading fish. The next day I'm cleaning out a warehouse. I mean, it's literally like just odd jobs. Now, the reason I kind of am forced to do that is, you follow my channel, you might understand why I would have to do those things. But I'm just saying, there are people that, yeah, they don't have a lot of money, to even, they're worse than check to check. Check to check is, like, nobody really ever really, even I haven't really talked about how, it's people that are actually in worse shape than people that are living check to check. Who would have thought that? There's people, like, people's idea is, and I'd have to even say for myself, my ideology is that it's really, really bad to live check to check, and it is. But it's actually people that have it worse than living check to check, right? And in that case, you wouldn't probably have that much to give your children for any allowance, right? You barely able to, get make ends meet, right? So, yeah, it will be interesting to kind of figure out, like I say, how the children have fared from getting allowance versus children that have not gotten any allowance, how they fared as far as staying out of trouble, staying out of, committing crimes and hitting licks with their friends and stuff like that. I'd have to say, just roughly, I wouldn't be surprised that the children fare better that got an allowance. Realistically, because, yeah, they got, whatever is $50 a week. Even though I know $50 a week in this day and time is probably not that much money for kids. It's just, this inflation is really, really insane, right? But even $50 a month, because when I was coming up, $50 a month was like, if you got $50 a month in the '90s and the early '80s, uh that would be interesting. Iori, what's going on? Have you ever considered cloud? I don't even know what that is. Don't know what you are speaking as far as have you ever considered cloud? Um, are you talking about cloud computing? Are you talking about like AWS? You know, what do you mean by that? But yeah, the thing is that yeah, a lot of these kids they want to have a nice outfit, or they want to be able to buy a nice, decent cell phone and stuff like that. Oh, AWS and Azure. Okay, yeah. The thing about my situation, I talked about it briefly. It ain't about a job or skill set or anything like that. My problem is I'm having an issue with my criminal background. That is what I'll say. My criminal background is causing some havoc in my reemployment engagement. So I don't want to laugh at that, but yeah, it it's kind of challenging in that regard for me. But yeah, it's a situation where I think that I think parents should try to give their children some allowance. You know, I really do. I mean, because I don't think you should give like my mom, used to give me money. My dad gave me money, but my mom didn't necessarily just give me money off the strength of all okay. Sometimes she would give me money, but I had to do something. I had to cut the grass. I had to clean out the bathroom. I had to, do tasks for the money. Like I legit think that if you have children, I don't even care. It could be 5 to 10. It could be you should give them a list of tasks that they have to do and give them a set amount of money. You know, monthly or weekly basis. I'll just say monthly, just so they can have something to look forward to. And who wants your children to be bugging you every freaking week? You just do it for the month, and what it'll do is it'll teach them some level of responsibility on both regards, such as being able to give them tasks that they have to complete, and if they don't complete it, then they don't get an allowance, and then when they get the money, they can save the money. Right now things are really cool because you can have like kids baking accounts. Kids can have bank accounts now. They can have their own little debit card. So yeah, I definitely will say that you should look into giving your children an allowance if you are stable enough to do so. Even if you're not, I mean, it's something you could try to reach out to do in the future. Now, you know, it's going to be always outliers. Kids are victim to peer pressure, hanging with the wrong kids. They might be tempted to just go ahead and, you know, commit a robbery with their friends, or smash and grab, or burglary, or whatever. And then, there you go. You got to watch out who your children are actually hanging out with. But a lot of these crime waves is what I'm seeing is from 14 to, I would say, 24 years of age, and a lot of times I will say that the face of what? The face of crime, right? In America is the young black male, right? Um, the thing is that black people in aggregate have less as far as income, less wealth, less as far as high unemployment rates. Um, just overall, as far as if you go, weed is look into the weeds of the money, the economics in this country for black people, we're last in a lot of different regards. So when it comes to robberies and burglaries and stuff like that, of course we steal a lot because we don't get a lot. You have situations like Wells Fargo, where they basically getting caught, um, just basically lying on applications, and basically driving interest rates up for black people, not giving them loans when they qualify for loans. I mean, they're just the most probably prominent of those companies, right? How many other companies do that? How many companies, their entire staff is white. They don't have one token blackie on the staff. It's a lot of companies. That's how they do it. And here's the thing: it is not for them to hire anybody. I believe that a person should be able to hire whoever they want to. But here's the thing: that's where it comes to tribal economics. That's where your ass, as far as your black ass, should be able to group together with your people and be able to start businesses and hire your own, just like anybody else. And the thing is that that's where the problem comes. It comes to a situation where black people can't work together. Like we hear all of this ADOS and FBA, but y'all can't even put a dollar together and start a business, and and you want to have all these acronyms. How about MBA, or um which is pretty much already the Minority Business Association, right? Okay, why don't you tout that? Why don't you tout that, and y'all group up and put some money together and actually start some damn businesses so people can get hired, right? So they don't have to rob and steal and worse to freaking make some money. Because here's the thing: when you get backed up into a corner and you don't have any income, you don't have any jobs, and you're having problems getting jobs, of course things are gonna get real desperate. You're not gonna think about, oh well, you know, grandma told me, you should, be this type of person when we went to church and all that. You go into a state where you think like a savage, because you gotta have some money, right? Everybody needs money, right? And it's like, yeah, I mean, I'm not giving people excuses and stuff like that, but you gotta understand language. You gotta understand that it's people. It's not everybody wants to work. Here's the thing: some of these people, they have to be thrown in jail and sit so they can realize that they messed up. And they gotta kind of get themselves together, if possible, right? But it's some people that actually do want to work, and they're looking for work, and they're looking for economic opportunities, but it's fleeting. Economic opportunities are fleeting. They're not even there, right? So that's because in a lot of cases there's no other outlet. It's like you have to be this individual. Like in the black community, a lot of times you have to be an independent trucker. I call it the independent trucker mindset. You got to go get your CDLs and then get your ass on a truck and start hauling. And the thing is that mindset and that concept, it works great. This ain't a beat up on black people stream, Black people have the highest numbers per capita of middle class in America. Okay, we have black people have some of the highest levels of being in the medium or the middle of any other group in this country. And one of the reasons why is this is my take on it. One of the reasons is because we do have we do come from a lot of situations where we know there's no other resources available as far as anybody to help us out. So we have to just do it individually. Like my mom used to say, you got to pick up, your own bootstraps type of thing. Black people are very good at that. But where the problem comes into getting outside of that independence and actually working together, black people have a very big problem with that. Actually, kind of, you know, being dependent on one another and actually like starting some type of corporation, some type of business venture, and pulling ideas, minds, and resources together and coming on one accord to start some type of conglomerate. We have a problem with that. We a lot of times we kind of stay in that independence, that level of independence, till we, basically die. And that is unfortunate, because you have people like Iori that, comes from more of a tribal economic type of situation where they pull together brother, sister, cousin, and they, help each other start like a business, maybe a little convenience store or something. Then they make some money with that, and then they help somebody else start another convenience store. Then next thing you know, they got a convenience store and a gas station, and so on and so forth. Like, I mean, that type of um, economic togetherness is needed in business, in the business world, because the business world is also the job world. All of this feed off of each other. Without any businesses, there are no jobs. And where it comes to, not all white people or anybody else, or whatever race you want to call it, they're not going to give you a job. They might not want to give you a job. I don't care how nice you are, how long you stayed out of trouble, or whatever. They just don't feel comfortable around you for whatever reason. They're not comfortable with you. They don't want to hire you on. They might hire women more than men, or whatever the case may be, but it's not their job to hire you. It's your job to hire your people that you're comfortable with, who you want to hire. It's your job to hire your family, your children, your brothers and sisters, if they have anything to offer, or ain't gonna steal from you, and not work hard for their own family or brothers or sisters or whatever. That's what your job is. And if it's like, and basically what it comes down to, you have a bunch of people that they're not looking out for each other. They're not helping each other out, because it's like, I'll have to say, I've had examples. I'm not just speaking from somebody that's speaking hypothetics on this in this regard, because that person that I'm talking about that done this I've done it on a small macroeconomic level when I had my computer store, and then I've seen my grandfather do it on a more higher level, where he had businesses and he hired his brothers, his sisters, other people to work for him. Even his grandkids. We all worked at his businesses, from my aunts to my mother to my uncles, and even my siblings and my cousins. We all worked in this business, and it's like, if just imagine if everybody had a family business, at least one family business, right? How much the unemployment rate would be in the black community, if everybody had a family business. I don't care what it is. It could be cleaning out gutters. It could be freaking detailing, pressure washing business, or a maid service or something like that. Let's just one family. Like, just think, if all black people had just one family business, what would the crime rate be then? What would it be? What would be the unemployment rate then? Okay, well, what would that be? What would that look like? It would look a lot different than what it does today. I'll tell you that. And the thing is that, yeah, in the aspect of crime, I would have to say that, yeah, America is definitely digressing in that regard. Okay, what's another thing? You know, I said crime. I said economic opportunities. I've already been, in the weeds with that. Um, it's I would have to say America is definitely progressing in the economic opportunity department. There's more economic opportunities than I've ever seen it. Like, don't I'm not saying woe is me. I would love to work doing a lot of different things. I mean, I have a scarlet letter on my record, unfortunately. But the thing is that that does not necessarily stop you. You know, it's a lot of opportunities out there in tech, in the medical field. It's so easy to get jobs now. It's really kind of streamlined to get a lot of things because of the internet, because of the ease of access. I would just call it the ease of access, because anybody has a cell phone or a computer. You have access to all different types of companies that offer business loans, lines of credit. If you need a loan to rehab your house, there's loans available. It's just a lot of things that's under your fingertips by accessing basically the internet, through a computer, or even through your smartphone, because your smartphone is basically a mini computer. So yeah, I would have to say in that regard, as far as economic opportunities, is very easy. You can start a business without leaving your home. You can start a LLC, a corporation, all with the click of the button on your computer. Like, you can invest in stocks all through you could use your phone, your computer, um, all aspects from the cash flow quadrant, um, the employment sector, small business, um, and investing. You have access through all of that without, like, you can literally work from home now. Like, you can just, man, you could just sell shit on the internet, man. Like today, I was just sitting chilling in my house, right? Like, and somebody needed something. They wanted something that I was selling on Facebook. I was selling a freaking propane tank that I just had sitting around, right? I didn't need it. It was just on my Facebook Marketplace or whatever. And the dude just was like, "Hey, I'll give you $20 for it." Okay, cool, come on through. And I was just sitting around, man, and I sold, a freaking propane tank, right? I mean, I could have had like a whole bunch of shit. Like, I could have like my garage filled to the rim with shit, like all kind of stuff, and then just sell it on whatever eBay. I already sell stuff on eBay, and Facebook Marketplace is what I use as well. Craigslist is kind of like, yeah, don't really know if Craigslist is booming like that, but definitely, you got eBay, you got Amazon, Facebook Marketplace. Man, it's people you could just man, it's people that just you got Shopify stores and stuff. Man, you can sell stuff right without even leaving your house, man. you could work from home and just you could have a little small business right in your home. I don't know how many times I done seen people on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube talking about how much money they done made from e-commerce, just sitting it's just basically working in a home office. I mean, it's like I'm not gonna cap and say all of everything I'm gonna talk about is digressive. I mean, yeah, I'd have to admit, like the first one, crime is definitely progressive. I think definitely crime is you don't have to be a freaking moron to notice that crime ain't an issue in America. But as far as economic opportunities, definitely not digressing. I would have to say it is progress. It's getting more easier. I mean, I'm gonna be honest with you. I even with whatever the case may be as far as my record, I'm still working. I mean, might have to do stuff occasionally that I don't want to do, but I refuse to. I'm bougie as all get up. I'm still bougie, but when it comes to I gotta make some money, and I gotta get my goals accomplished and everything else. Hey, if I gotta go clean some shit up, guess what? I'm gonna be cleaning that shit up because I need paper. I mean, if however I gotta get it, I gotta get it. You know, and it's out there, and it's like, man, it's literally like so many ways you can make money. Like I'm working, and it's like it ain't necessary. I'm gonna be honest with you, it ain't as much as far as pay. The stuff that I do now, occasionally, don't pay. I don't even make half. I'll be lucky to make half of what I used to make. But every now and again, I get a little IT job or whatever, and I, get out there and make a little money. But it's still opportunities even for myself. Like it's still a lot of time. Be honest with you, I just because I've been working so long for consistently, and I haven't had any days off and stuff like that. I just a lot of time I don't even be wanting to work because I just be like, damn, I mean, it's opportunities out there. The economic opportunities are, man, out there. Just think about it like this, right? It's so many people that don't want to work. Like even like I mean, I'm a hard worker, but I have to admit, like a lot of times, just this is legit fact. Now I ain't gonna say it ain't no excuses. My car is trash right now. My van is like popping and locking and all kind of shit. Like I need another vehicle, like ASAP Rocky. You know what I'm saying? Like I need $1,000 Cashapp right now so I could go get another car. Like, but I mean, yeah, I still have like it's a lot of things that I just kind of don't do because it does require a lot of driving. So I don't do it. And if I did it, I know I could make some money doing it. And it's like, yeah, it's just so many opportunities. I'm not gonna say, okay, here's the deal. I'm not gonna say everybody wants to do it, but like DoorDash and Uber and Lyft and shit like that, especially, I ain't gonna lie, bro. I ain't gonna lie to you. I mean, it's a lot of fucking shit going on right now. This monkeypox thing is really concerning for me. I'm not gonna tell you it's not concerning for me because that shit looks nasty and grotesque. I don't want that shit, man. That shit is like kind of like, you know, just kind of grotesque looking. I'm just keeping real. Like, I really don't know that much about it. Some people are saying it's an old disease or whatever that just kind of springing up now, but I don't want that shit, man. You know, and you doing what it takes to kind of minimize exposure at this point in time, I would not I definitely understand. I definitely understand, you know what I'm saying? Because You got, and you still got COVID out here and shit. It's like, yeah, I definitely understand if you want to minimize exposure. But I'm not gonna lie to you. If you like really savage about getting money, it's so many ways you can get money out here. I mean, it's just so many ways. Like you can get a cargo van and you can sign up for like freaking delivery services and shit. It is like so much paper out here, dude. Like you don't even need a truck to get into trucking. You can get a fucking like a pickup truck that got some torque in it, like a Ram 1500, and get a it's I think it's called a carry on. It's like one of them vehicles. You ever seen them trucks? It's not a like a tractor trailer truck. It's a regular like pickup truck, and it has the detachment on it where you can. It's a car hauler. It's called a car hauler. So you can haul like 4 or 5 cars on this damn thing. It's expensive, but you can use that and then make sure you have whatever licenses you need to have for that or whatever. And you can literally, man, haul cars across America with just this car hauler. And then that's all you need. You don't need no CDL license. And then I'm gonna tell you, I don't really know how much cars cost to deliver, but they're expensive. Because when I remember years ago, because I, buy a lot of cars. I mean, I bought quite a few cars off eBay. I sold a couple. To haul a car on eBay, I remember, I want to say 6 to 7 years ago, it was like 300, 400, depending on, it depends on where the car is in the country. But I know it has to be more expensive now because, the cost go, I'm sure is way more expensive. So you could probably say, let's just say on average, $600 a car, and you haul 4 cars. Okay, you done made $1,200 in less than like what, a half a day. You know, I mean, that's just a day, and you might do that every day. It's people out here are absolutely killing it. I mean, I mean, killing it because it's a situation where you have a lot of people that actually just don't even really want to work for whatever reason, bro. Whatever reason. It could be just a lot of time I think people have an idea in their mind of what they want to do, the way they're being programmed. Like even me, I've been in IT for 15 years. I already knew if it's something happened with the current position that I had when I worked at the liquor company. I knew once I lost that job or whatever, I knew it was gonna probably be difficult to get another IT job. I have a actual felony on my record. It's not something that any felony is bad, and I knew it would be challenging to get another job. So I already kind of like, and I'll be honest, it was kind of difficult to get a job even without having a felony. I mean, come on, like don't know what, a lot of white dudes do not, get along gang or whatever you want to call it, good old boys club. And want no big tall black nigga in a club and shit. You got some white companies, they like saying nigga jokes and shit, and racially insensitive sensitive jokes and shit. They just don't want no black people, around because they don't want to offend nobody, probably. I don't know. They just don't want you part of their little country club and shit. So whatever. I mean, but the thing is, I ain't gonna lie to you. It wasn't necessarily easy, easy pie even before I had a felony to get a job. I mean, eventually, yeah, I got a lot of jobs, but it was like, it wasn't like I was just getting jobs left over fists and I was just like having bidding wars and shit like that. But I mean, yeah, it damn near like shit. I don't want to say impossible, but I mean, I'd have to. it'd be a miracle if I got another fucking IT job. I'm gonna be honest with you. So it's like even still, I mean, it's opportunities. It's even opportunities for me to kind of do what I do now, which is go on my own and stuff. But I mean, the thing is that it's still opportunities. You know, it is like I say, I mean, if I just had it stuck on my head where I just wanted to just work in IT and then be in the office and wear my Cole Hans every day and my little button up and my little slacks and shit, and then just be like, if I had that in my mind, I'll be stuck, because I'll just be waiting for somebody to hire me, and then I mean, how I'm gonna live waiting for somebody to hire me, So it's like I don't have that locked in my head. Like, if I can get another situation going on, okay, so be it. And they ain't even really what I want to do. My ultimate goal is to actually be a full-time investor. Like, that's really my ultimate goal. I don't even want to work in IT. Like, I like IT. I like technology. But it ain't something I don't want to work for no fucking corporation for the rest of my life. I have a fucking corporation that I'm trying to get off the ground. I don't actually want to work for no corporation. So, I mean, the thing is that my ultimate goal is to be, basically working with my startups that I have and being a investor. You know what I'm saying? So that ain't necessarily even my whole thing that I want to do anyway. So thing is that sometimes I think people have it in their mind of what they want to be and they got that locked in and they don't know how to get it. They don't know how to hustle and get it how they can get it. Cause sometimes like you might have to do something different. You might have to be a babysitter or a nanny, or whatever, so you can get some money. Like, and it might you probably make more money than you did from your other job. Like, some people just don't want to get out their comfort zone. I know people that are personally, I be laughing at them like they don't have no felony. They don't have no felony and they're struggling. And it's like, and then I'll send them a video of a nanny that make $275,000 a year, and then they talk about they don't like their kids. They barely like their kids, let alone somebody else's kids. That's what they say. Some people are idiots. I mean, really severely. Like they putting themselves in a felony category where they can't get no job because they don't want no job. They want to be stuck in that little small job, making a little small money, and there's people making $200,000 more than they do without a college degree, and what they do doesn't even require a college degree and stuff like that. It's just, you know a lot of people ain't even taking advantage of all of the economic opportunities that this country has to offer. You got people standing in line for hours for half a day trying to get over here so they can basically take advantage of the economic opportunities. I could talk for freaking a whole night about economic opportunities in America. So many economic opportunities in America. I mean, I'll be capping to you. I'll be capping if I told you that the economic opportunities is digressing in this country. So the third is healthcare. Okay. So I would have to say overall, healthcare has been an issue in this country. Healthcare is one of those things that it's kind of an elitist um kind of thing. Like, if you're rich, healthcare is absolutely no problem for you. You might complain about the bill, you know, have a conversation over some coffee and tea about your bill to your other rich friends. hit the back button by accident, or I hit some button. But like I say, like yeah, if as far as healthcare is concerned, like if you're rich, and I have to put a number on rich. If you're anything north of $500,000 a year in America, as far as like what you make a year, yeah, you're rich. Yeah, you probably like it makes a good complaint conversation or rant, all right. While you drinking a beer, having some coffee with your homies or whatever, or what I'm saying, you have a little conversation before tee off or doing a little 18 holes or whatever. But it really ain't, you can pay for it. Your company basically pays for it, or your private company that you own pays for it, or whatever. It's paid for, right? Where healthcare becomes an issue is for basically you could say normies. People that are making $100,000 or less, or even $50,000 or less. It's an issue. It's in most people in America make $50,000 or less, and that covers all races and ethnicities. Most people make less than 75 to $50,000 a year. That is a fact. That's doesn't have anything to do with race or anything. Most people make less than $50,000 a year. And to be honest with you, even people that make $100,000 a year, they have issues with healthcare. They have issues with healthcare costs in America because it's so expensive. The out-of-pocket costs can get expensive. You have people that have children that have disabilities or diseases that are very costly, such as diabetes, such as they might have some type of problem. They might be autistic. They might have some type of level of Down syndrome or something. They might have family members that they care for that have some debilitating disease that they have to help out with and cover costs with. They themselves might have problems. I have a cousin right now. He's got renal failure. His kidneys are failed. He's on the donor list. I mean, he's going in and out of the hospital. You know, what I'm saying? Like he's young. He ain't even he's way younger than I am, and he's got kidney issues. You got people like a lot of times people don't really think about things. I mean, most people are relatively healthy, I would say, thankfully. Health is very, very much something that you should be prideful and happy that you're healthy because you what good is having any money if you're sick as a dog, right? You got people that have to take insulin, and insulin is very, very expensive. It's like really, really expensive. I don't know how expensive it is, but it's very, very expensive. Actually, being diabetic is expensive as fuck because of the insulin cost. If you gotta use diabetic strips and stuff like that. You know how I know about diabetic strips? Everywhere I drive around, I see these signs talking about, do you have any diabetic strips for sale? And if motherfuckers putting signs up talking about, do you have diabetic strips for sales? That's gotta be some shit that's fucking expensive as hell. Because why would a motherfucker put a fucking sign talking about, do you have diabetic strips for sale? In the same type of signs you see for a fucker that's putting a sign up asking, do you have a house for sale? It would have to be fucking expensive. And not to mention, if your kidneys ultimately fail, you have to go get dialysis. You noticing those popping up? Those dialysis centers are popping up left and right. You have one of the biggest ones, as far as in my area, is called Vitas, and they are all over America. And it's like they're on the stock market as well. And the thing is that that's because all of this concentrated sugar, corn syrup, and sugary foods, lack of exercise, high sugary diet, high cholesterol diet that we intake is fucking making us fucking diabetic slobs. And these motherfuckers they're making money off of it. This shit is really, really crazy, man. I'm gonna tell you something. Rich and wealthy people don't really give a fuck. In case you didn't know, that's one of the like kind of things that I notice. Like rich and wealthy people don't give a fuck. Okay, they just okay, cancer. Just open up a new cancer treatment center next to a toxic cancerous waste dump. We already know they're going to need the treatment, right? They just put up one there. Oh, let's just feed everybody fucking sugar and they fucking go for it, which most people will go for it. Okay, we'll just open up these kidney treatment facilities and make a shit ton of money. Insulin. Oh, okay, yeah, we'll just rise that shit up. I mean, it's really fucking sad, and I'm not saying like when I say rich and wealthy people, I'm not talking about the motherfucker that let me get some goddamn water. God damn. I'm not talking about the motherfucker driving a Bentley down Rodale Drive that, made a couple crypto gains during the pandemic. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about motherfuckers that's fucking billionaires, like just running companies, like the motherfuckers that made a whole bunch of money off of selling Oxycontin, like Purdue Farmer, them motherfuckers. That's when I say like the people that run these big companies and conglomerates that affect policy and have paid basically lobbyists and shit like that to get bills passed and stuff like that. That's the people that I'm talking about. Not a motherfucker that's goddamn it sniffing coke in an apartment in Manhattan that sells diversified portfolios at Lehman Brothers. I mean, not Lehman Brothers, but they went out of business in 2008. Goldman Sachs. So that's not who I'm talking about. I'm talking about the motherfuckers that goddamn it sell freaking oxycodone and shit like that, to have motherfuckers shooting it up on the streets of Philadelphia and shit, walking around like zombies and stuff. Those are the people that affect a lot of things on a big level, where they just making money off of whatever pain and people getting sick, and thus making people more sick because they're not necessarily healing people. They're just basically maintaining someone's sickness. So yeah, that is that I would have to say, in as far as healthcare, it is definitely digressing in this country. In the aspects of healthcare, there's been an argument for how many elections in a presidential campaign, from Barack Obama, trying to do the whole Obamacare thing, right? And then they had a big, to do how about that, to now it's still an issue. It's still a problem. Where healthcare actually is a problem, I'm gonna tell you where healthcare is a problem, right? So if you're poor, extremely poor, yeah, life everything's a problem when you're poor, right? But you can get um full subsidized healthcare for the most part, right? Where healthcare actually is a problem, where it's a sweet spot for people struggling and shit like that, is actually people that make north of whatever the requirements is for Medicare, whether that be 55, $45,000 a year plus. Um, Basically, what will be called the middle class. That's who gets hosed in this country, the middle class, because you don't make enough to really get any type of like Medicare or whatever, right? That's subsidized. You got to pay for that shit, and you don't make enough making $50,000 to fucking cover health care with ease out of your own pocket. You just don't. I already know you don't. And that's where it becomes challenging. Now, if you make $150,000, it's still challenging if you have like children or family members that are sick, or if you're sick yourself. But the problems where that people get really lambasted is those people that just make slightly above the medium income to qualify for subsidized healthcare, because they barely make it. um Almost to the point where you should lobby for the actual subsidy healthcare subsidy to be raised to a higher amount, because it should be like, if you make like, even if you make 50 to, I would even say 75,000, up to $75,000 a year, you should get Medicare. It might sound fucking like high strung, but gotta be like, really, you don't make $75,000. A person that makes $75,000 doesn't make $75,000. You most people are W-2 earners. If you make $75,000 a year, the taxes that is taken out of your paycheck is probably somewhere north of 20 grand. So you really only making a little above $50,000 if you make $75,000 a year. So you already got 20,000 taken out of your check before you even get it, and you have the same costs that everybody else has. So that's where people have to kind of go into government and lobby and stuff like that, and it's very difficult for you to do that on an individual basis. That's where you have to kind of join up and get with a team or a fight club to actually make that happen. And they might, you might not even be able to get it out the house, right? And it's probably a lot of people are not going to accept that. It's just a lot of bureaucrats, man. I mean, healthcare, like I led with, is one of those things where it's an elite type of luxury in America, and it shouldn't be, but it unfortunately it is. It's a healthcare in this country is a luxury. Like it's sickening and it's sad, but it's true. It's definitely not. I don't see any progression in that. It's definitely it's a digressing thing in this country. Um, they are some type of innovations where like you need to talk to a shrink or whatever. You can do that over the phone. You don't have to you don't have to go to a medical doctor. In a lot of different places, they have apps where you can order, you can basically see a nurse or talk to a doctor over the phone or through an app. You don't even, what I'm saying, have to go to long time ago you had to go to a clinic or emergency room for something. You could just go through an app and and then the next day or the same day you can get the medication at local pharmacy. So in that regard, because of technology and the ease of use, it is some type of progression. But as far as overall healthcare coverage, because it's a coverage issue, don't nobody have no money to pay for fucking healthcare, right? It's a healthcare coverage issue, and it's definitely not progress. Okay, what's another thing? Healthcare. Talk about crime, economic opportunities. What's the third thing? Quality of life. Yeah, quality of life. So, is quality of life improve in America? Oh, let's see here. Is quality of life improved in America? Oh, okay. Let's look at this. Let's look at this here. Quality of life. I'm not gonna say that's a tough one, but I'm definitely leaning toward the digression side of the game. I don't think that America is progressing as far as quality of life. Now I'm looking at why that is the case. Okay, so we can go back toward healthcare. We can use healthcare as a quiver to my argument. Okay, definitely that's a problem. Somebody come over here from the UK, the old bloats from the UK, you know, they come over here with their pounds, and they're gonna go run out in the street and get hit with the old car, and then next thing you know, when the bone is popping out, the tibula, they're gonna notice one thing when they get to the ambulance, visiting America. They don't have any fucking health care. They're gonna get a they're gonna get a bloody bill for you know $15,000 because they had to get reconstructive surgery, emergency reconstructive surgery, which is more costly, because somebody had to get called out, and whoever the surgeon was on staff had to do that right away, right? Because that's what they do. They charge you emergency services cost more than normal services, in case you didn't know that, you know. So yeah, you get billed for everything if you don't have healthcare coverage. Anybody even traveling to this country, they don't get automatic health care coverage. Something happens, you're out of pocket. You know, just like as if you go into somebody else's country, you'd have to pay out of pocket. Because you don't have any healthcare coverage, right? Now the thing is that is the same case for a lot of people that are underinsured or don't have any insurance. And let's just take a step back out of even healthcare. Um, let's just talk about the inflation. Okay, the current inflation costs. The actual cost for housing, right? That's an issue. That's an issue when it comes to quality of life. Like, I mean, you know, fortunately, I was able to buy my house before it was a bubble, and still wasn't a it's an area when most people would probably not want to buy a house. I mean, let's just be honest. The thing is that when it comes to housing, um, housing housing is still an issue. A lot of people are priced out right now. Okay, they're priced out of housing, and a lot of people. Let's just keep it real. Even before the bubble, they didn't have any money to buy any house. I was just taking. I was on the shitter today, right? And I just really noticed something, and I just kind of zeroed in on it. It ain't the first time I noticed it, but it really hit me. At 40 years old, this is the first time I was able to, actually 41, was able to buy a house that I was able to actually live in. I had a house before. It wasn't livable. You know, it's the first time in my ever life that I had some place that I could call my own. I don't want to shit on anybody, but yeah, your house that you love so dearly, your little Victorian cottage, you probably have a mortgage on it, and you don't own it. Okay, that the mortgage company owns it. And definitely if you're paying rent, you don't own that. You know, my crappy house that I'm still having to fix up. I own this fucker. Okay, all I have to do is pay taxes and utilities. Is kicking my ass, right? And that's just kind of bare minimum and definitely upkeep and repairs and fixing the house up and everything like that. That's all I have to do. It's the first time that I had something that I could actually call my own. And then even still, it's like, okay, it's not like I have what I really want, but I mean, how many people actually even have that? Like, most people, they either live with someone, they have, a rental apartment, whatever, or they have some condo house building that they're paying a mortgage for. They don't even own it. They don't. They can't. Okay, owning it is if you stop paying tomorrow, next month, 2 months from now, you still own it. Nobody can call you talking about, hey James, Jim, we noticed that there was no payment this month. I was just giving you a reminder, that you know, um, we have the $1,500 a month rental agreement. I don't get it. It's no phone calls from me like that. I mean, don't pity me as as much as you think. I mean, you know, my old self or whatever. I've already saw these moves coming ahead. I you know I, I saw the move already across the board. I need a place to live. I took what I had as far as cash on hand, took advantage of an opportunity for contract deed for contract basically because I didn't have any credit to buy any house. There was no credit for me. My credit stunk like Detroit sewage. I couldn't get any house off any credit. So I had to get it how I could live. I had to get it how I could, right? And that was a contract for deed. Or either that, or I'd have just had to put up as much cash as I had, and I'd have to live in a worse place than where I really wanted to live because there was some places out there that, yeah, I could have paid cash. It would have been a lot worse, in my opinion, and the house would have been in a lot worse condition. It would have been a shit show to try to repair some of those houses that I saw that were, north less than south of $10,000, let's just say. So, I mean, all of that being said, I'm just saying, as far as the quality of living, it's just really not affordable, man. As far as just okay, housing costs, healthcare costs, what the big H's, right? Healthcare, housing, what else is it? H. I'll just say the two H's for now: healthcare and housing. Okay, this is why people go to Mexico. Okay, this is why people are going out of the country to other countries because it's basically you realize it and it's like, damn. Well, I go to Mexico. My dental bill, get fillings and cleanings and shit. It's like, $400, and that's pretty cool because if I had went to a dentist in America, that bill would have been like over $1,000. And it's like, okay, well, Uh, my house is 50 grand, and it's a, I got a pool in the backyard. I got my own private gate, and I got a, fully developed house. It's like, god damn. Okay, well, yeah, I do have to worry about the cartel on every corner, but it ain't bothering me. I ain't trying to push no weight. You know, I ain't, ain't, ain't. I'm not in no cartel. They definitely know I ain't in no cartels. It ain't bothering me. You know, ain't nobody really bothering me. I just, go get my tacos on the street corner and go back to, get my produce, my fresh fruit, vegetables, and whatnot. Then I go back to my house, and then, I could even have, someone cook the meal for me, and it don't cost that much. Have somebody come clean up once a week, and it's like it's a higher cost in America for all of those services that I mentioned. I mean, um, you know, for the price of 50 grand, in an occasional out of pocket cost for healthcare is very affordable. It's a higher quality of life, and people have put this together, and they put that concept together, and they just basically took their passport and their belongings or whatever they could, and they went across the border, because it's like literally, like I say, I mean, healthcare costs is definitely something that's concerning, and then housing. Nobody wants to. Not a lot of people are okay with paying mortgage after mortgage after mortgage, rent after rent. Ain't no end to rent. Rent has no end. That's why. That's why if you're um, Robert Kiyosaki guy like myself, one of the things you got from that, one of the gems that you got from Robert Kiyosaki, if you have property, and as long as it's standing and it's fixed up and whatever, you can collect rent for the rest of your life off one piece of property. The value of rent, of actual rental income or property management is infinite. Okay, infinite, because you can basically, if you pass on and you teach your children, okay, keep this property, maintain it, fix it up, make sure you save your money, buy another property, and you continue to maintain this. This shit goes into the fucking the monarchy system, being an actual lord, a landlord, lording over properties, lording over land. Like, ain't no end to it. You could, pass it on your children, then they're collecting rent. They're collecting rent to the serfs, you know, and then they continuously ain't no end to it. Then they pass on they pay. It's a property value is actually infinite when it comes to rent. Yeah, you fix up the property, you flip it for the maximum value you can. But when you rent, ain't no stop to it, because there's no end to rent. There's no rent stoppage. It's no end to it. That's why I don't like renting. I would rather live in Detroit. I would go to Detroit tomorrow and get a fucking bando, fix it up, live in it, just so I can avoid paying rent. I hate rent with a passion. Okay, I hate rent with a pat. Now, I ain't got no problem with renting a property for a period of 1 to 2 years, just in case, like, for example, I need a place to live so I can fix up a property or whatever. Nobody wants to keep living in properties and fixing them up while you live in them. But I mean, other than that, like long-term renting, it's a lot of things that I would do other than long-term renting. I would probably marry a prostitute before I do have a long-term rental. I mean, I would probably go into a snake pit with no anti-venom. I mean, it's a lot of things that I would do other than trying to be a long term property rental because, first of all, there's no end to it. Ain't no value to it other than you just living good. If you got a decent apartment, you like it. It's just just it's a place I live, just a place I go to, sleep, eat, fuck, shit, piss, and then I have to pay rent every month. I can't pass it on. I can't buy it outright. Just a place I go. I mean, it's just I just don't like it. Some people is like, oh, it's no problem, and I prefer to rent because the landlord has to fix up everything and all this other shit. It's just like I'm just not into it. But the thing is, when it comes to just basically the overall lifestyle in America, the whole high rent costs. I was watching a YouTube today. This lady that's like a real estate broker that primarily she's heavy into commercial real estate in Chicago, and I know the prices because I'm in the real estate, as well. But I'm not a heavy hitter. I'd admit I'm a small fry in this real estate game, but I'm very knowledgeable. So the price of a two flat building, which is basically a 2-unit building, multifamily unit, is about $300,000 fixed up, turnkey in the Chicagoland area, or basically south side of Chicago. Okay, so the house, okay, the 2-unit building, not fixed up, is about $200K. So my thoughts were, okay, you get this $300,000 building, 2-unit, let's just say 2-flat building, right? And who is going to pay that $1,600 or $1,500 a month for rent in some of these areas? Because I'm from the south side of Chicago. I know all the neighborhoods where they shoot at the moment, or where it's heavy crime and murder and shit like that. And it's like it's almost like pretty much all over the south side of Chicago. So it's like and then all of the poverty and crime and shit that comes with that. And my thoughts is, who is paying this, and what is the rate of frequency of delinquent renters versus non-delinquent renters? Because everybody ain't gonna be able to pay those higher rent costs. Having to deal with people paying those rent costs and all of everything else everybody got to pay with. There's got to be a lot of people that are basically not paying their rent and having to go to eviction court. And it's like, I don't know. I need to know those delinquency rates, because I mean, if you're a nurse and you just you work right near where you work, and you want to live near where you work, it's fine. A lot of other professionals, fine. But the average person is going to probably have some issues paying rent. Okay, I just don't see everybody being able to pay these higher rent costs. I'm just sorry. I'm not seeing it. I know people still have Section 8. Section 8 is still something that people have. Okay, I understand that. Some areas in the country, Section 8, Section 8 is like almost like a coupon off of the price of bread, because I saw YouTube of some chick that basically she was renting in Rhode Island, and a lot of people in Rhode Island are getting priced out of their Section 8, meaning that their Section 8 is worthless because the rent prices are so high. Section 8 doesn't cover the rent costs, so they have to come out of pocket in a sum that they can't afford to come out of. So it's like, everybody is not going to be able to cover these higher costs and rental costs. But I mean, as I digress back, yeah, rent is, property management, actually owning properties, collecting rent is actually, it's an infinite strategy as far as wealth. It's one of the secrets a lot of people don't really talk to you about. I mean, I definitely got it from Robert Kiyosaki, but if you can collect rent, I mean, it's a beautiful thing, especially if you have good tenants. Um, you know, it's an infinite wealth strategy. I mean, I don't really know how to really make a lot of money off compound interest. It's one of those things that I have to learn. But I do know that if you got properties, you got buildings, and you provide people a safe, comfortable, basically uh, clean environment, as far as a property, uh, they'll pay, for that, and you can find people to pay for that, continuously, because it's never going to be an end to the need to have a space to live in. People are going to constantly need a space to live in, and they're going to pay you for it, right? So yeah, like I said, I don't know that much about compound interest, but rent, um, um, uh, collecting rental income is definitely one infinite wealth strategy that I know of, right? Fix and flip, it is, um, it's one of those too. You would say, yeah, fix and flip is also part of that. The thing with both of those, with rent, and this is why I talk about neighborhood grades. You can't. It's certain neighborhoods, like I said before, you'll be hard pressed to collect rent. Everybody gonna be coming up late. Man, my uncle had a building on somewhere on the southeast side of Chicago, near the South Shore neighborhood. Man, damn it, he was having problems with everybody collecting rent. I mean, he he had people that owed him rent for like a whole year. Like he just got tired of it and just sold the building, and just walked away from it. Basically, didn't make any money out the deal, because he just, one, he sucked at being a landlord, but two, it wasn't even him. It's like, that's why I talk about neighborhood grades. In certain neighborhoods, he's just not gonna be able to collect hardly any rent. Like, his property at the time was in a grade F, yeah, grade F neighborhood. Grade F neighborhoods, you're gonna have problems collecting rent, because basically it's in a location where it's high crime, high poverty, high unemployment rates. You're just gonna have problems collecting rent in those type of environments. Ideally, you want to have a property in a grade C or above, because typically, people have more opportunities, more higher incomes. Crime is not much of an issue, and so on and so forth. So he's got a situation now where he just kind of, I think, more conducive for him. He's just got one tenant, Section 8 tenant, that is in a single family home. And I think that's what he can manage better. I don't think he's a very good building person. You have to you have to be a certain type of person to manage multiple tenants in a building. It just, not everybody is diced up to handle that, to handle multiple families in a, let's just say a 4 unit building or a 3 flat building. It's a certain way you got to be. I'm not going to necessarily talk into that right now, but it's a certain way you have to be. It's a certain business model you have to run it up under.
And I'll just say in one word, you can't be no fucking nice guy and be everybody's friend and be in the property management business. Uh, but yeah, let me digress back to the whole lifestyle in America. I mean, you could go back to crime. A lot of people are having issues with getting robbed and getting their home burglarized. I mean, if you don't have a Ring doorbell camera on your house, I don't know what you're doing. I don't know why you're doing it because there's so many people, man. Like come up to your door. You got a house, just have a target. You have a stationary target. It's like the very least you can have a Ring doorbell camera because in case somebody stole your package or somebody came up to you, some stranger came to your house, you can actually have some type of video footage. The thing is that yeah, crime does affect your lifestyle. It affects your quality of living. Uh, you know, that's also yeah the whole overall premise as far as the quality of living in America. Well, crime affects that quality of living. If your children have to see crimes going on a daily basis, like even myself, like I remember being 4 and 5 years old, seeing actual crimes in progress in the ghetto. Where I lived in Chicago, my parents, they wanted us to move out of that area, to move out of that neighborhood, to have a better quality of life. Well, Atlanta is having a quality of life issue. Right? That's why they're doing all of these, RICOs and locking people up because they're having a crime issue and it is affecting, you know, everybody's lives overall. You have Buckhead, which is a community that is in Atlanta, and they're talking about succeeding to outside of to have their own city, separate from Atlanta, and then that's bringing up pressure, right? To try to deal with this crime issue, right, in Atlanta. Where they at as far as them actually trying to push for actual their own type of city away from Atlanta, I don't know. One of the things that I've heard is that it's a city called Sandy Springs that actually were successful in succeeding from Atlanta. So I don't know. Maybe they should just let Buckhead be Buckhead. As far as I know, being an outsider, being somebody that been in Atlanta once, as far as I know, Buckhead is its own city. I don't know Buckhead from any other place. I mean, as far as I know, I wouldn't know none the wiser. It's its own city. It got its own mayor, the mayor of Buckhead. Shit. So yeah, I mean, yeah, crime is definitely one of those things that is affecting quality of life in America. Going back to just cost. I mean, cost is definitely, like I said, cost it is definitely messing with people. The thing is that I would have to say cost overall is why people are actually taking, like I said, the actual effort to just leave America. You know, you know, even going to Europe. You go to Europe. After a while, you go to Norway, right? Norway has some of the best quality of life, quality living in the world, right? Just go to Norway, right? A lot of people are actually doing that. A lot of people that they don't have any children, they're tired of America. They just saying, you know what, fuck it. I just go somewhere else. It's even people that are going to Africa. They just said, you know what? I'll just go to Africa, man, because it's like here's another thing that I didn't mention. You know, um, dating and mating. Dating and mating is an issue in America. Now, some people might have a different issue in America with that. I'm I have let's just say everybody has a unique issue in America when it comes to dating and mating. Now me, I've already made it. So I've got children, man. I would definitely not be leaving this country. I I, I ain't leaving nowhere, man. I'm not leaving my children. I'm in this motherfucker, man. You know what I'm saying? Star Spangled Banner. You know, um, other people that don't have any children and they actually want to have a family, um, they haven't necessarily made their bed yet. They're like, man, forget this place. Let me tell you something, man. It's this dude on YouTube. He was on TikTok. He made a video about how he basically said he doesn't even want to date any women in America anymore. And this dude blew up on TikTok within a matter of a week, 1 week. He went from last I checked, he went from 300 subs on YouTube. I just looked at his live just last night, a couple hours ago. He already had 6,000 subs. He already getting super chats and doing live streams. Within a week, this is I've never like I ain't gonna lie, like I have seen people move channels fast. Now I don't know a lot of people. I don't know all of the like people that move real fast, but this dude probably moved the channel faster than I've seen anybody move a channel. Because what he's talking about is a big issue for a lot of people in America. Especially, I mean, he represents the black community per se, right? Or some people say the community, right? It's an issue, you know. It's an issue for a lot of black men because they're not the argument is they're not getting their rate of return that they think that they should be getting. Some people are of the camp that just deal with it. Some people are of the camp that I don't care what you do, just as long as it makes you happy. I would have to say I'm part of that camp. And then some people are part of the camp that, the whole passport bros. They say, you know what, get my passport and I'm out of this bitch. And I'll just come back just to work and live. And then I'll just, basically fly back and forth to whatever country that I'm desired. And that's a big issue. And that is also it affects your quality of life. Ain't gonna lie. This probably affects your quality of life more than you really think about it. If you have an issue where, let's just say, a lot of men are not getting the women that they really like, or not getting sexually satisfied like they like, and there's just a situation where they just for whatever reason, or not getting the respect from women, or getting treated fairly from women, and they just say, you know what, um I just I've been I'm gonna go to this other country, and then they realize that how they get treated is way better. um the food is different, might even be good or fresh or whatever. And then they realize, now they have a different scenario in their head. They know, okay, this place, I feel better. The food is good. Women treat me better. And then they come back to America, and what is called they have what is called travel rage, because now they're back in their home country, which is America, and dating and mating is a problem in America, right? And they're having problems in America dating and mating. Well, in this other country, dating and mating ain't no problem. It's other things that are problem, like maybe making income, making money. Um, and you have people that just say, you know what? They call, expats. They just say, you know what? I'll just fly to this country and live. A lot of people in that category is older. They might have some type of retirement income, or they have some type of income that they can work remote. They just like, you know what? I'm out of here, you know. And they left, and they might come back routinely here and there. But you got to understand, women, you know, it's a big deal as far as your quality of life. I mean, who wants to be by themselves all the time, or who wants to deal with women that they might have problems with, or might not get respected. It might not be they're getting a fair shake. Might come with a lot of baggage. Well, just get on a plane, go 4,000 miles. I don't have that issue. It's a big point of contention. It's why this dude's channel is blowing up, because that's whenever. Okay, let me tell you something. Whenever somebody is blowing up on a topic, that's what is called a trending topic. That's like literally a pinnacle topic, meaning that it's so many people talking about it. It's such of a hot button issue that so many people are zeroing in on. And that's why. Because yeah, dating and mating in America, probably I would say for the last probably, let's say, I would say probably 20 years has been digressing. Dating and mating in America has been digressing, and it's not getting any better. It's what I'm saying. So it's like, yeah, it's an issue. And the thing is that it seems to me it's coming a center point issue to where if guys are going viral and blowing up, and it's getting a big thing. Um, it's good. It's good. I won't say it's bad. It's definitely good because a lot of people are having an issue, and they might be centering around other men like that. I mean, I have family members that are part of that group. It's like, I see a family member of mine. He's in Colombia and shit, on his stories and shit. And it's like, oh, okay, you know, what I'm saying? It's like it's definitely an issue in this country, man. Um, it's like, I'm not gonna go into it. I've already did videos on that, but yeah, dating and mating is a big issue, man. For men, it's an issue. It's a big issue. A lot of time, I'll be honest. I've said it before. Men work for sex. We work for women. We do. In many ways. I mean, what is it? What is Ask anybody, they'll tell you. Whether it be you ain't got to talk to. You ain't even got to ask a pimp or a Mac. They'll tell you, like, sex revolves around a lot of things. I mean, men go to work so they can get some pussy. If a man can't get no pussy, it really affects his overall attitude. You know, Men and women both, if they're not having a sexual relationship, a positive relationship, cohesive relationship, women get upset, they get frustrated. Men do the same thing. They ain't getting a man ain't getting no pussy, ain't getting laid, and he's gonna get frustrated, man. He's gonna be pissed off, you know. So, um, the thing is that yeah, men work for women. Women work, so they can take care of their children and shit like that they already have. That's the way that's supposed to work. Um, a lot of times, yeah, when women make money and then they don't have anybody to be with, they get lonely and depressed and shit like that. Men don't necessarily get lonely and depressed. They just go get a plane ticket or they go buy a prostitute. Women don't necessarily haven't came to that department where they calling cousin T-Tar and shit in the middle of the night. Like they not some women do that, but they not all doing it in aggregate or in mass like men do. Men will buy pussy, and they don't have any. Some men might do it in secret. Some men might start a whole YouTube channel about it. uh, but men they don't necessarily have a problem. They understand that women need money, and they want to pay for what they need, and they just pay for it, get their release, and go. And the thing is that you also have a viral moment where a nice, looking woman that traveled across the country on a, plane ticket, and the guy immediately, I guess, came to the conclusion that she wasn't going to, have intercourse with him. So he basically kicked her out of the car at the airport and say, basically, have a nice flight, and good luck getting home. And here's the thing, like, yeah, that's what guys do. Guys pay to play. I just read something today, and it said date. I think I put it, yeah, I put it on my community tab, but it wasn't really, it was like chopped up. It said date is an acronym, and it's for damn, what was that acronym? It was for dinner after uh what the hell did that say, man? I gotta see if I can find it now. Let me see here. I gotta go. I gotta go on my community tab and see what it says. Well, actually, I'm sure I posted it on my Facebook page. Let me see what it said. Let me see what this says. Acronym for date. I post that on my community tab, or did I post it on my Facebook page? I think I posted it on my Facebook page. Let me see here. Go to my Facebook page. I mean my YouTube page. Oh, Dick at the end. that's what day stands for. Dick at the end. So, if you're not able to have problems with that, don't go on dates. Don't take women out on dates. I mean, if you know a woman, and shout out to Alan Roger Curry, Mo one. If you ain't, if you doing that old 2 point mode 2, as he called it, where you basically beating around the bush, like, oh, hey baby, can I take you out on a date? And can I get your number and take you out on a date? You leave with that, right? Well, you leaving that open if you're expecting, that you were going to give her dick uh, at the end, right? You left all of that open for ambiguity because you didn't have the heart to basically basically even use, I think he said 1.5 is you basically kind of get her number or whatever, ask her, establish interest, and then basically through over the course of conversation, further conversation, you basically expound upon how you want to have sex with her. Most women are not dumb. They know for the most part your interest is you want to dick them down. They're not dumb. You know, you might have some airheads out there, but most women understand that you want the interest that you're putting onto them is because you want to actually have intercourse with them. Okay, so the thing is that yeah, you have all kind of different types of women. You know, women that just want to get a free dinner, whatever. And the thing is that you open the doors for that because you don't basically establish that you want to what your true intentions are in the Jump Street. So it's like basically the reason you don't want to do that is the reason why you don't want to do that is because you don't want to scare her off. Because you obviously, for the most part, most women, if you basically come to them like you basically want to, have sex with them off the jump, most women are not going to probably be okay with you having sex with them. That's just for whatever reason. Like I say, like it kind of goes into my last conversation that I had with my friend that is now married. After that conversation, found somebody, got married. I talked to him because we used to go to different little bars and taverns and shit like that. And he used to I used to talk to women and he talked to women and I said, he would after I got shot down, he would say, "Oh, you gotta say this. You should have not said that, or you shouldn't have mentioned that." Or I said, man, I was going to say his name. I said, hey, hey, bro, like it don't matter what you say. It don't matter how you say it and all this other goofy shit. You ain't got no script you gotta read, none of that. Because here's the thing. This is where this comes from. It comes from a situation where you're thinking of yourself as a lowly person. You're thinking as yourself as a common person. Well, what if you weren't? What if you were, let's just say, what if you were in the Jackson 5? Do you think that it's something that you could say or not say with, let's just say, the 70s, early 80s, it was hundreds of thousands of women chasing the Jackson 5 in airports. This was their day-to-day struggle. They used to have to run away and hide from women, had to get security guards, police officers to basically get them away from crowds and crowds of women, primarily, right? Young to old, chasing them. Now, most people ain't gonna have a lifestyle like they're in the Jackson 5, okay, in the 70s and early 80s, right? But the thing is that, well, some people, they have a certain level of desirability about them that a lot of women want them. I ain't saying you got to be famous or rich and famous, but there are men that are kind of ain't rich and famous, but they're desired by women in whatever, whether it be their fashion, how they look, just their overall appeal, that they are desirable by women. And the thing is that when you are desired, we all know men that are desired, right? You probably could go to women and get, basically straight to the point with them and fool around and maybe at the park get a quickie in or go get a hotel room later on. Like that could be that, you know what I'm saying, could be the reality. But if you're not desired for whatever reason, which most people, most men are not, you know, um, that ain't gonna probably happen. Because see, here's the thing: it's women. Women have the same type of like. It might be different. They might have a different guy, but women have an entertainer that they all agreed upon with their other girlfriends. That if they got around them, they're gonna do X, Y, and Z. If you know he allowed her to do. And I mean, basically, that's like on their highest point. That's their like, prime guy that they would just basically let. They would do anything. They would just, have sex at the drop of the hat, right? But your most other men are not that guy, and that's just like basically kind of where I'm going with that. But it's like, yeah, I mean, the whole intentions is that if you work on yourself to the point where you are more desired, you probably, could get more attention. But I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm not gonna say that you should try to be delusional to think that that's gonna make you a better person in America. Um, Dating and mating, I don't care how much you worked on yourself and everything, is still going to be a problem in America. So, I mean, the thing is that I think what it is that it's a competition that a lot of people are not able to basically compete with, because most of how it goes is, let's just say like out of 100 women, the most desirable women, the most like submissive, the most well-rounded women, let's just say 60 of those women are already taken. And they're not, trying to cheat on their man. They just want to, kick it with their man and be with their man. So they're already out of the equation because they're not going to cheat with your ass because they already got somebody. So you got 40 women that may be in the pool, and then you have some that probably let's just say about 20% of those women are out of the market for whatever reason. Maybe they not into men. Let's just say might be sick, might not look good, might not be that desirable as far as in the looks category. Then you got another 20% that let's just call them, like, terms of Kevin Samuels, leftover women. You might have, a couple babies, but might have one baby, and they're a single mom. They might be on the crazy side of the game, might have mental issues. They might be domineering, masculine, and hard to deal with. Well, you got to deal with that 40%. You got to you, you got to have the rod of God, maybe, and try to woo one of those lesbian chicks to be at least bi, or you gonna have to deal with whatever else is left. And that might be what more or less is going on, where you just out competed in this market, right? In America, as far as dating and mating, because it is dating and mating in America or anywhere else is a competition. That's some things that our parents didn't tell us that. But I'll be your proxy pops. I'll be your dad, and I'll tell you, son, dating and mating is a competition. And you might be on the losing end of that competition. And if you are on the losing end of the competition, well, yeah, I mean, you have another option. You can get your passport, and you might go to another market where it might be a different type of more options for you available. I mean, it just simply where it's going, and this is becoming a hot button issue. In America, it's being an issue where a lot of people are talking about it because, like I say, this dude, I don't know, is let me see if I can figure out what it. I think it's Thomas. Wait, let me see if I can find out this dude's channel name because I was seeing it. I was seeing it. Yes, like I said, I was watching it the other day. Who's this dude's channel? And this dude, I've not seen nobody blow up like Austin Hallman. Austin Hallman is his name. This dude is blowing up. I mean, blowing the man up. Like, I mean, I ain't like the only time that I've seen somebody that relatively, and even them, they channel ain't blown up, is somebody that had a channel and then they basically deleted the channel, or they channel got deleted or whatever by YouTube, and then they started another channel, and all of the people that liked them went to that channel, and even still, they channel ain't blow up like this dude. This dude went from, I think 3 days ago or 2 or 3 days ago, he had 300 subscribers. Last time I checked, he had just a couple hours ago, I saw over 6,000 subscribers because it's a hot button issue. It's one of the I would say it's one of the biggest things people are talking about. If you looking for a topic to talk about and you talk about things like that, you probably, man, I mean, it's definitely trending. It's a trending conversation. Basically, traveling abroad for dating and mating. I mean, it is a you got it is a definitely a hot button issue. Because it's not like the black community is the only community that does, like, most other people travel as well. Everybody travels. It's just, it might be more of an issue for black people or black men in America because, like I say, we have a smaller uh, demographic of people. It's only so many black women in America. If you want a black woman in America, I mean, it's only so many, and then you have, all of the problems that you have to deal with being a black male in America. I ain't going down that rabbit hole. We've already been down that rabbit hole. I've got plenty of videos going down that actual rabbit hole. And when it comes down to it, um, you know, like I say, you got everybody travels, and the thing is that when it comes down to it, it might be more of a case that black men probably do need to travel more because, like I say, all of the factors that's involved, like I say, the numbers, it's just not that many. It's not that many black women in America. You know what I'm saying? So you might have to go where there's more black women. I mean, you go to South America. You know, a lot of people don't read or they don't know history. More black people were sent to South America than they were North America. The Spaniards and the Portuguese, it wasn't no limit to they were just sending black people over to South America like it was no tomorrow. Whereas North America, they had like they had like a cap on how many black people they wanted, sent from Africa over to North America. South America's like it's no limit. So it's more black people in South America than they are in North America. And it's like, what's the difference? Just how they look, and then just basically maybe they might speak Portuguese or they might speak Spanish, depending on where you are. That's the only difference. They look just like a black woman, as far as the phenotype. They just speak Spanish. They have different customs, and might speak Portuguese, might speak French. And it's like, yeah, I mean, it just that's a fact. That's a fact. One of the things about me, I'm highly educated. I'm highly researched. Um, you know, that's one of the things that might have skipped for a lot of people. The history of this country, as well as when it comes to the transatlantic slave trade, how it affected other countries and islands. You know, you might have missed that part of that. You might, they don't really go into that, like that in detail. You'd have to do your own research. But yeah, it's a fact. He sent way more slaves to South America, ideally Brazil, than they did North America. I mean, so yeah, it's just it's becoming a situation where people are tapping more into that. Black men are tapping into that, and I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm not really said this that much. You know, in my arguments that I've had, the women that I've dated, right? One of the most serious arguments I've ever had was about actually dating black women that were from other countries. That was a serious contention because the thing is that black women, they might not necessarily be taught as well, as far as it's a competition for dating and mating men in America as well, right? But it's competitive for black women too to date and mate. So they would be under insurmountable pressure, which is coming into a serious contention now to any outsiders, that might have better treatment towards them, look better, dress better. You know, uh, it will be almost unfair, an advantage for uh, those other women to be into play. Because it's nothing that they can actually do to do anything differently if they don't necessarily want to. I mean, nobody really wants to change, right? Change it's two types of change, right? It's forced change where you're forced to change, right, to survive, or gradual change where you come to a conclusion. Okay, well, I'm gonna take some femininity courses. I'm gonna join the MGT, and get trained on how to be a better woman. You have to convert your religion, right, to join the MGT, right, the Nation of Islam, right, or I'm gonna have to go take some lessons on charm, go join a charm school or something like that, and actually get taught, because my mother, obviously did not teach me how to be a wife, how to be feminine. And, she was kind of a butch pants wearing, you know, uh, highly masculine, woman because she had to kind of be that to survive and take care of us. So I wasn't learned that by my mother, so I would have to go and learn that from someone else, right? And most people don't. You're not forced to change, and people are not going to take. Most women are not going to take a gradual change, um, because a lot of times it's an ego thing. It's like, well, you either like me or you don't. Somebody's gonna like me, because men are gonna they're gonna have sex with just about any woman, right? So the sex is validation, but they don't necessarily that's false validation that women don't understand is actually false until they get older and they realize, oh well, this man can have goo globs of sex with me, but he's not going to actually marry me, right? So that's true validation, right? Shout out to Saint Kevin, right? That's actual validation. Anything else, sex is hot 15 minutes of sweat and excretion, but marriage, that's some shit, man. As a person that has done that, signed documents and risked half of my assets. Fortunately, I was broke as hell, so when I got divorced, it was no assets to process. But let's say I was rich, ex-wife would have came up, right? You know, um, that's 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 actual true validation of someone that you willing to take all of those types of risks and shit like that, right? So it's like, yeah, I mean, if you got a woman that is 250 pounds, kind of masculine, she has some sexual appeal enough to woo men in, right? Keep them around briefly or a period of time, right? And she'll, just to have men around, keep them around through, whatever sex appeal that she has, that would, give her some type of false validation that she doesn't need to change. She doesn't need to get on any type of diet plan, meal plan, uh, you know, go to the gym, ride a bike, you know, run, walk. It won't be any need to do that. I mean, I can get these guys. I can't get married, but I can get them to, give me some hot 15 to 30 minutes of sweat and excretion and pleasure, and that's that's enough validation to continue with that normalcy, of just multiply how many women that is, and that's enough to kind of like keep things going. But the thing is that it's all competition. It's dating and mating. After a while, women are not dumb, right? They got to go to the PTA meetings. They have to go pick their children up to school if they have children. If they don't have children, most women's imperative is to have children. And then they're waiting for the ideal person to have children with, which is what? Their husband, right? Then they realize, oh, don't a lot of men don't want to marry me, you know. They want to have sex with me, but they don't want to necessarily marry me, you know. And the thing is that it's embarrassing to if you got children, to pick your kids up, and some other people have their, their mother and father are picking their kids up, and you just picking your kids up by yourself. Everywhere you're going is by yourself. You know, and go around, and a lot of people have they're coupled up, right? You know, see couples with wedding rings. They understand that, yeah, it's something that is off with me as far as what I don't have and a lot of other people have, but it's an understanding that they know why they don't have it. They're in the 20% of being left over. Whether it be their, you undisturbed or maintained psychosis, or you know them being, whatever the thing is that makes them undesirable, or being unkept. You know, the reason why they're unkept is whatever reason that is, but they understand that, you know and it's yeah, it goes back to quality of life. The women can't necessarily go anywhere outside the country and force men to appreciate them. Only thing they could do is get a man that possibly will deal with them, because you know she likes the fact that he likes the fact that she has a good direct deposit account, or you know she's got promise of apartment in the United States. I mean, the very question is what women have as far as what men promise or have, but um, you can't necessarily say that women can go to some other country and force a man to be with them, or you know uh, get men to follow their wicked ways, like American men do, or whatever. It doesn't really work that way. You know, it's not how that goes. And it's not that many women that are even brave enough to try that, because they know that wouldn't work. And it's just kind of complex, and it kind of muddy when women try to go to other countries and try to bring those masculine ways with them. It just kind of gets real messy. But some do, and find mates or whatever. It's some women that they go to Africa to just get pregnant. I remember reading posts about that. Like they go to Africa, go to Ghana, go to Sierra Leone, just to get pregnant. You know, so it's tripped out, man. But yeah, dating and mating, it's an issue of contention, serious issue of contention in America. And it definitely affects the quality of life. I would have to say that the quality of life is definitely digressing in America. Uh, it is definitely digressing. You could just look at just you know droughts and stuff. The Western Seaboard, Utah, California, Colorado. Got rivers that are drying up. You know, old reservoirs that are drying up. Because just getting hotter, and less moisture and less rain, and then you have the demographic boom of people that have already moved to California, right? Before people were moving to Houston and moving to Atlanta, moving to Florida and different parts of the country, they were moving to California. If you want to be a movie star, right? You want to be an entertainer. The move was always moving to LA, moving to Los Angeles, moving to California, right? It hasn't necessarily stopped. People, no, I got family all in California. You know, and the thing is that uh, people still move to California. It's not like it's a stoppage anytime soon. So much people are moving to California that they can't even pay to live in California. They're homeless, right? You got homeless encampments all throughout Los Angeles, right? Different parts of California because yeah, the cost of living is so high, it's so competitive. It's highly competitive, right? And you know, people just living in a tent somewhere, sleeping in their car. You know, if you don't have a roommate, screwed. Like I've never. Only time I've ever had a roommate was when I was in college, and I was basically forced to have a roommate because I lived in like apartment housing that you only had one room, and it was like this little townhome type of style living to where just had one room, but it was a four-bedroom, and you basically had tenants that shared this house, this townhouse. That was the only time I ever had to have a roommate. Everywhere else that I've lived, I basically either just had my own apartment or a house or whatever, and that was it. Like I've never had. Only time I probably can say I probably had a roommate was my ex-wife. But that was it. Like I've never needed no roommate. But in a lot of parts of California, if you don't have a roommate, you're screwed. Some people even have to have like multiple roommates, right? Kind of how it was when I was in college and living in that townhome. You have like two or three roommates or four, and y'all both share this, apartment or whatever. And it's like, yeah, I mean, it's so high, it's so expensive. You have to do that to survive, right? It's a situation that you got a lot of people that are trying to do it, right? You know, the weather is so great, right? California. I've been to California. The weather is excellent. I remember, January, having walking around in a t-shirt with a t-shirt in San Diego. I was in the Navy. I was getting out, and I was in San Diego in January, walking around with a t-shirt. In Chicago, you can never do that unless you want to, get a intimate cold or, have the flu or worse. It's just so cold, like you'll freeze to death. If it's really, really like on a really cold day, like can't do that. In January in California, Southern California, oh, definitely can do that. You can walk around with shorts and a t-shirt because the weather is excellent. You know, um, it's tropical. You can you got the beach line, you got the Pacific Ocean right there. Uh, it's just got location. One of the things about real estate, what location. You got the Pacific Ocean, you got warm weather, you got a good environment, tropical trees, and then you have basically commerce. You have one of the biggest film producing industries, right? You have uh, also music industry there, right? And then you have a lot of different businesses, companies, right? And then you have the rise of you know computer industry. So you have all of these different companies in Silicon Valley, all of these different startups, right? So all of this money driving prices up. These people have companies, they have employees, they have to live there, they have to pay them to live there, and then they able to pay the cost to live there, and then they driving the price up, right? It's already has happened. This is 10, 20 years in, right? So you got tech industry, you got industry, commercial development, commercial activity, entertainment industry, sports, coastline, good weather. All of these uh, it makes up why people want to live in California. You know, it it just and then it just drives up the price of the cost to live there, right? So a lot of people move there, right? Got people live there. They want to live there even if they can't pay for a place to live. They'd rather live in their car, living in the tent, and still live and take in all of that. Uh, obvious being around all of these celebrities and whatnot on a daily basis. So basically, they need a lot of water resources. All of that area needs a lot of water resources. It don't matter. You could Okay. A lot of people moved out of California. They went to what? Utah. They went to Nevada, Las Vegas, right? It's like they still use the very same water reservoirs that in that area that California uses. So you have this demographic boom of people that are, basically moved to those locations, and those places need water to the people need water to use, right? So now you have an issue where you have old water reservoirs that's drying up, that's already dried up, and yeah, that's gonna what do something with the quality of life. You know, no water. Water is being rationed. You can only take one shower a day. You know how many showers I can take a day? As much as I can pay for. I could take 10 showers a day, right? No, it's no water rationing. I can walk. I can walk. What is it? 10 miles, and I'll walk right into Lake Michigan. It's surrounded. I'm surrounded by Lake Michigan, and I'm not even in Illinois. I can go. I'm going to Michigan. I'm still surrounded by Lake Michigan, Indiana, Wisconsin, Illinois. One of the biggest the biggest water resources in the world. I'm surrounded by it. The water is no concept. It's no, it's endless, and then it's so much water. Honestly, you could just put a fucking well, just dig a well, and it's all kind of water underground because it's very it's a lot of rain. It just rained yesterday. It constantly rains. You know, and the thing is that Um, yeah, I like the fact of being in California. If I had $20 million, right, or if I don't want to say 2 million, but bare minimum, definitely millions, right? I would move to California. Why not? One of the many few things me and my ex-wife agreed upon was moving to California with some millions in the bank. And I mean, who wouldn't? Who wouldn't want to, right? Because it's just a very desirable place to be, and unfortunately, a lot of people have already moved there. They didn't wait to become a millionaire, so it took up a lot of those water resources. Um, you know, the thing is that America is changing. I mean, um, you know, you have whole racial dynamic thing. America's trying to learn how to not be so racist, right? You got you got a changing in America, right? A lot of people don't they're not comfortable with. They're not ready for it, right? They're not ready for you know people to have interracial couples. I mean, long time ago, um, to be able to only white men can have sex with black women. Black men weren't allowed to have sex with white women unbothered. You know what I'm saying? Unbothered, right? So I mean, you only have what? How many years, decades have black men been able to have sex with white women unbothered? Shit. I mean, that's something to think about. What, 40 years, 30 unbothered? And then what? Is every now and again some theta male, or no, zeta male, white, short. Because here's a kind of thing about a lot of these shooters, right? One thing about these mass shooters is always is usually a certain type of person in the lineup, right? It is usually, if you notice, it's a white male under the height of 5'6", right? Under the short, basically a short white male, basically a zeta male as far as male hierarchy, or at the very least an omega male, basically some guy that's living with family, or living basically off the cusp of society, basically just barely getting by. That's what an omega male is. Not financially secure or independent, not doing well in life on the financial side of the game, right? um and not even having, not really having a good lifestyle, as far as any type of, they usually don't have any wife or children. They're not getting laid on a regular basis. They're usually some type of what we would call right now, what, an incel. And then when they actually go and pick a target, it's usually what, some black people, right? Somewhere. Their manifesto is black guys having unadulterated sex with white women. That's part of the manifesto. I don't want to laugh, but if it's usually part of their manifesto. Somewhere in their manifesto, you know, black guys are digging out white chicks. It's somewhere in the manifesto. And the thing is that like I say, that's what they. I don't know, but yeah, it's definitely something that bothers them for some reason or another. And it's like You know, I guess it's a way to kind of somewhat bully, or what, deter what guys ain't gonna stop having sex with white women. White women ain't gonna stop having sex with black men. It's not gonna. It's not like you know back in what 60 years ago, 50 years ago, whatever, on beyond, back to even the plantation days, slave days, and Andrew Jackson days or whatever. You know, when he had his favorite slave mistress trapped in some type of barn or basement, and he would just basically would come in and him and his brother would have sex with her, and he was still married. He still had a family. He had a family with his wife, and then he had a whole bunch of slaves that he bred, slave women that he bred, right? I mean, that was quite common for most of the white slave masters, right? And it's like, the thing is that that's very much how they controlled it. They controlled mating. The white men in slave days controlled mating, right? They would pick the black guys to breed with the slave women, and they would breed with the slave women too, and then, like I say, they would still have their wives or whatever, and they have their family, and then they'll have their little mulatto babies, right? That they had with the slaves that they had, that, they messed around with. And it's like, yeah, I mean, I guess, you know what is being done is that it's still trying to hold on to that, I guess, you know concept of history where only I can breed with, I can breed with your woman, and then my women too, or whatever, and you can't breed with my women. And it's like, yeah, it's tripped out, man. But it's definitely one of the little ticks or notches in the progressive category of America progressing. Uh, I mean, no, digressing. I mean, I guess in certain fashions you could say progressing. It depending on how you look at it. I guess it's progressive and digressive. I guess it's kind of both in that regard. You know, you can technically have sex with white women. With, you shouldn't be bothered by law. It would be a law if somebody bothered you having sex with your white woman. If I went out and I did go out not too long ago, but me having sex with a white woman, nobody is legally supposed to bother me having sex with the white woman, right? Because that would be against the law for somebody to bother me having sex with a white woman. Me being a black male, you know, it's packing in all kind of different ways. Nobody should, by law, should be able to bother. It was a law, not too long ago that I could be bothered for um, giving out some BBC to a white woman. But by law now, you're not supposed to bother me having sex with the white woman. So it's all of this shit is like it's very fairly new, and a lot of people are not able to really deal with all of this because it was supposed to be, um, you know the other way around. You're supposed to be bothered and thrown in jail, for having sex with a white woman or worse, right? Or even whistling or winking at a white woman, right? So, yeah, I mean, it's kind of like a situation where if you go to another country, uh, or continent, you can fuck as many white women as you want. Ain't nobody even gonna bother you, right? But the thing is that yeah, that's I would say something that is progressive, you know. But every now and again there's a shooting, right? And then you have some type of omega male that he's an omega because, or might even be zeta male, white male, usually under the height of 5'7", right? And he hasn't before the shooting is done. Uh, he wrote a manifesto that mentions black guys drilling white women in the manifesto. That's the proxy um, action that's done to try to keep that in check, or curb that, you know, um, you know, guys, fucking white bitches, black guys fucking white bitches, right? So it's progressive and digressive at the same time. But you know, I've said enough. I don't know who this lonely one person has been eyeballing me through the whole live stream, but you my friend, or you are the MVP. Um, you know, and yeah, I'm going to go hop off of here. I've said quite a bit. I actually was going to try to talk about other topics, uh, but it is a lot to chunk in with just even talking about this. So whatever. I might even change the title. To just give this something a little bit more flair, because I was just gonna kind of go talk about different things. Um, if anybody said anything, I would have definitely talked about it if it was worth a fuck. But I'm gonna just change the title to, I guess, what this is, and you know you know leave it on up.